Well, hello and welcome to Plymouth Pavilions for some live BBL Championship action between the home team Plymouth Raiders and the visiting Surrey Scorchers, two teams that met very recently, only a couple of weeks ago. I'm joined by my main man Phil. As always, how you doing, Phil?
Yeah, very good, thank you, Pablo. Very good to be here. Looking forward to an exciting game, obviously, with a couple of new faces since this last matchup 2 weeks ago.
Yes, well, we may as well start with what the Raiders have brought in. So, looking at it, obviously, Will Neighbour is the new addition.
Nothing.
Apologies there, a little bit of a technical issue, but Will Neighbour coming in is obviously the obvious new addition, practically a game winner against Glasgow Rocks. How's Will settling in?
He seems to be really fitting in nicely around the club. He's almost gelling with that team ethic. The guys look a lot more together since Will's come in. Training seems in a much better spirit at the moment. He's done a lot for the team, both on the floor and off it, I think, at the moment, and he may be just what the Raiders need to turn that corner and start to kick on.
And of course as well, relatively new addition to the Surrey Scorchers in Matthew Bryan Manning, former London City Royal, of course, bringing with him a whole host of good stats and obviously impressive performances. How do you think the Raiders are going to deal with Matthew Bryan Manning tonight?
He's a big, strong guy. I think we may see Leslie Smith playing quite close and trying to keep him quiet. He likes to pick and roll in the paint. If they can keep him out of that area and keep the ball out of his hands in that area, then I think you may see a lower scoring game from him. If he picks the ball up close to the hoop and he puts that little spin move in that we've seen so many times before, then he's lethal from close range.
Potential for match-up of the evening then, Matthew Bryan Manning and Leslie Smith going head-to-head. Of course, Josh Wiltshire back for the Raiders and Rashad Hassan as well, after being absent for a number of matches. And the Raiders picking up their first win against the Rocks. But of course, Surrey Scorchers tonight, and of course Scorchers took their home victory against the Raiders by 10 points. So bearing in mind the aggregate score could become important further down the road. Raiders looking to win by more than 10.
Yeah, that's easily doable. They've got some guys on the floor now that can really shoot the ball. Will Neighbour can do a little bit of everything. He's a strong player from outside that three-point line, but he's just as good from 2 foot. He can really start to roll. Josh Wiltshire, when he gets the ball in his hands, can be deadly from three-point range. Kostas Januska can shoot the ball well. Denzel Ubiaro is an out-and-out athlete. He'll drive to the basket from wherever he picks up the ball. Raiders could be a real strong side if eventually it clicks. I think they're 1 or 2 clicks away from the playoff positions.
Absolutely. Of course, as well, coming back to Pavilions as a Scorcher this time, Devontavious Payne. Good to see him coming back. And as you mentioned, the outside shooting, Lavelle Cook, of course, Kaylin Raftopoulos has always been capable of shooting the 3-ball, but Skylar White this season has been something of a revelation.
Yeah, they came here early in the season in the cup competition. Skylar White just could not miss. And he's kind of followed that up throughout the season. He's had some great games, certainly against the Raiders 2 weeks ago. He made a huge difference.
Absolutely. So we give you the starting lineups for both teams. The Raiders, the home team, starting off with number 4, Josh Wiltshire, number 10, Denzel Ubiaro, number 11, Leslie Smith, number 12, Kostas Januska, and of course, hang on, I've lost the thing, number 15, Will Neighbour, and the Surrey Scorchers kicking off with number 1, Bryan Manning, number 11, Devontavious Payne, number 13, Lavelle Cook, 15, Teo Ogendembe, and 99, Skylar White. And immediately, Josh Wiltshire goes strong to the basket for 2. Lavelle Cook pulls up quick and answers straight away with another 2. Quick start there for both teams. Barely played 30 seconds and already 4 points on the board in total. Ubiaro under pressure from Teo Ogendembe. Drives the lane, takes off, doesn't get the roll. Rebound, Matthew Bryan Manning. Probably going to be several rebounds from Matthew Bryan Manning tonight. Foul called. The dunk will not count. An early foul against Leslie Smith, foul on the floor.
Yeah, there's that matchup that we talked about there with Leslie Smith and Matthew Bryan Manning, and I think we're going to see some some real close play from those two this evening. It could get quite physical.
It's Lavelle Cook on the top, driving down the lane, pulls up, he shoots short, bit of a block there from Ubiaro. The Raiders manage to defend their end now. Josh Wiltshire brings the ball forward, driving again, kicks back to Will Neighbour for the hook, and he gets it to go. What a lovely play by Josh Wiltshire there with the dish. Yeah,
it's obviously Will Neighbour's first game in front of this Pavilions crowd as well. He was here a few years ago. He was a bit of a fan favourite when he was here, and he looks like he's ready to pick up exactly where he left off last time.
Lavelle Cook pulls up for another jumper. He's 2 for 2 from the out. Actually, he missed one, didn't he, earlier on, but he's 2 for 2 for those turnaround jump shots anyway. Josh Wiltshire brings the ball down the floor.
Interesting, the look from Lavelle Cook straight to the Raiders bench this stage in the game. Don't normally see it in the first minute and a half.
An early turnover. Last touch, Teo Ogendembe couldn't quite keep control of it. Yeah, the Raiders getting a little bit of a reputation for chatting to the opposition and trying to get things going in that sense. Matthew Bryan-Manning comes up with the ball, brings it down the floor, point centre right now, kicks it to the corner. Skylar White open for 3, doesn't get it to go. Rebound Leslie Smith. Both centres now playing something of a point guard role, and that's given away by Leslie Smith. Matthew Bryan-Manning will dish a lovely tip away, well read by Josh Wiltshire, as Devon Tavius-Payne looked like automatic from that.
Yeah, it was a great hand from Josh Wiltshire to deflect that pass away. There was a 3-on-1 situation there, and he's done a great job there to slow that position.
So it'll be an end-line ball. Teo Ogendembe to put it in for the Scorchers. Just chucks it straight up to Lavelle Cook, who's looked like he was going to put it straight up, but he didn't. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Lavelle Cook, Ubiaro in his face, just pulls up for another jumper. Lovely start for Lavelle Cook. 6-4 now in favour of the Surrey Scorchers. Plenty of time on this one. Wiltshire drives again, gets the foul. It's a late foul. Gets the call nonetheless. But it looks like Josh Wiltshire's going to drive every time he gets his hands on the ball.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not what we're used to seeing from Josh. And maybe that could be his game plan this evening, to try and throw up something a little bit different to the norm.
Currently leads the average scoring for the Raiders, 18 points per game. And the place he's at now is the place he likes to be. He's 94.7% shooting from the free throw line. And here he is shooting his second shot.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think we were 5 or 6 games into the cup competition before he missed his first free throw this season.
Devon Tavius-Payne then will bring the ball down for the Scorchers. Easy pass inside for Skylar White, and a great steal as Skylar White tried to pick out Teo Ogendembe. Here comes Leslie Smith, who just pulls up for the jumper and knocks it down. Raiders lead by 2, 7:15 left in the first quarter. Ogendembe there, trying to feed Matthew Bryan-Manning, gets it down low. The big man goes to work, knocked away by Leslie Smith. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lovely put up there, he's unlucky, under pressure, plenty of bodies in contact underneath. And he gets the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Foul, I think, was on Will Neighbour.
No, it's gone on Leslie Smith.
That's Leslie Smith's second foul, not what they want the Raiders this early on. I think Coach James is going to leave Leslie Smith out there. He's indicated to say he wants to stay out there anyway. And Matthew Bryan-Manning will go to the line. He makes his first.
It certainly could change the way this game is played if Leslie Smith picks up another foul too early.
3 years of NBA Summer League for Matthew Bryan-Manning. Played Summer League for New Orleans Pelicans, Chicago Bulls and Portland Trail Blazers in 3 consecutive years. That's quite a standard, isn't it? If you're going to be playing NBA Summer League, you know how to play the game.
Yeah, and obviously he had a great season last year for the London City Royals. He certainly is a great player, and he's been with this training with the Scorchers for around a month, so he's settled into their system quite well now as well.
Well, a missed 3 by Will Neighbour, end-line ball for the Scorchers. Devon Tavius-Payne with a quick pass out. Lavelle Cook. Nothing but green shirts in front of him as he started to try and drive into space. Matthew Bryan-Manning Lavelle Cook again, not shy about shooting the 3-ball. Neither is this man with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Skylar White's got to make something happen. Teo Ogendembe is short on the 2. And the Raiders have a tied ball game, 8 each. Josh Wiltshire drives again, finds Rashad Hassan. And an easy finish for Rashad. Another drive to the basket for Josh Wiltshire. Teo drives the lane, goes for the quick turn. Scoop doesn't get it. End-to-end action at the moment. Neither side letting the shot clock run down too far. But Josh Wiltshire drives the lane again, doesn't get their shot to drop. And it's in the safe hands of Lavelle Cook. Devontavious Payne splits the pair, drives the lane, scoop shot doesn't go, and it's tipped away by Januska. And that's a lovely dish and finish by Rashad Hassan. Raiders up 4. Teo drives again, lovely dish. Matthew Bryan and Manning for the dunk. Silences the pavilion's crowd. You can hear a pin drop now.
This game really is end-to-end stuff at the moment. If it stays at this pace for 40 minutes, then we're really in for an exciting game.
Well, that's what NBA, as he's known, is quite capable of on the inside there. Just give him an inch and he'll throw that ball down. Lovely pass inside. Rashad Hassan goes up. He is fouled by Skylar White, the man in 99. And Hassan will go to the line.
Two lovely little passes through from Wiltshire on the last 2 possessions for Raiders. He's found his partner in crime there, Hassan, both times, and put him in for the look.
And Raiders have really missed that, haven't they, for a few weeks with these guys. You know, injury to Hassan and a non-basketball related injury to Wiltshire.
Yeah, they certainly have struggled with injuries a little bit. So it's nice to see those 2 guys back on the floor. The game last week against Glasgow was the first time those 2 kind of appeared for a little while, and it's great to see them both out there, and just this first 5 minutes has seen how pivotal they are for this squad.
2 for 2 for Hassan. He struggled from the line a little bit earlier on in the season, only 50%, but tonight he is 100% from the line. And the Scorchers looking to get things going. Down low to Teo Ogendembe. Januska on him tight, kicks it out, but it's misread, and it's Hassan on the break. Goes up with 2 Scorchers and finishes strong. Ooh, and that is a charging violation by Devontavious Payne. Josh Wiltshire just getting his feet set at the right time. It's a tough call that for referees. The advantage is always kind of with the attacking player, but Josh Wiltshire seemingly did enough there. And Devontavious Payne will go straight to the bench.
Some courage there to stand and take that charge. Obviously,
at that speed as well. Yeah.
Payne was a Raider last season, so Wiltshire and Payne are 2 players that know each other very well.
And Raftopoulos now on the floor. Incredible outside shooting ability from Kaelin Raftopoulos, but it's Josh Wiltshire on the ball. Feeds the corner where Januska looked like he was going to go for a 3, but he kicks the opposite corner. It's Will Neighbour, and the big man hits the 3, and the Raiders suddenly are up by 9. No. 6. So quick to put the scores up on the board here. And a timeout by Coach Raftopoulos this time to talk about things. Obviously the Raiders are getting some momentum now, the home crowd getting behind them.
Yeah, it was. That's exactly what Will Neighbour offers. We've not seen too much of him in that opening 4 or 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden he's wide open in the corner and he sinks the 3-ball. I thought it was a 3, actually it's gone down as a 2-point shot.
Yeah.
But he must have been very close, difficult. We can't see that corner from where we're positioned up here.
No, 2 big speakers in the way here.
It's an exciting start from the Raiders. I had a conversation with somebody pre-game. I said whoever wins this first quarter wins the game. So
that's a hell of a prediction.
It is, yeah. But I think both teams can play some really exciting basketball, and if they can, either team can take a decent lead into the end of this first and put the other team chasing, it makes things very, very difficult for the other team to come back.
Absolutely. Well, timeout is coming to an end. Both teams will look to come back on the floor. And the score currently, well, it's been amended on our scoreboard. 19-10 we've now got. Raiders lead by 9.
Okay, so there was a free ball in the corner from Will Neighbour. I stand corrected.
Yeah, forget what you just listened to. 4 minutes 16 left in the first quarter. Scorchers currently got a couple of fouls to give, only 3 team fouls. Raiders with 2 team fouls so far, so neither team over the limit. Plenty of time left in this first quarter, and Kaelin Raftopoulos will bring the ball down for the visiting Scorchers. Teo.
Interesting stat line at the moment. Rasad Hassan on 8 points from his first 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Nice. Teo with a lovely little move, turnaround jump shot, and he gets that to drop. Nice move from Teo, consistently good player for the Surrey Scorchers, one of the best players in the BBL today, and here's Wiltshire. Hands off, bit of confusion there as he runs into Will Neighbour. He's taking Raftopoulos down into the post and gets the turnaround and flexes a muscle, Will Neighbour.
Big smiles from Will Neighbour.
Yeah.
He's enjoying himself so far this evening.
Raftopoulos looking for space, very quick. Can't give him an inch. He's very, very good from that 3-point mark. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Teo goes in, drives the lane, gets fouled. It looks like the foul is on Denzel Ubiaro. It will be 2 shots to Teo Ogedembe.
A couple of substitutions for the Raiders. We're going to see Josh Wiltshire leaving the floor along with Denzel Ubiaro to be replaced by Ron Verweeka and Issa Brandon. Interesting to see Josh leaving the floor this early in the game. We're not used to that at Pavilions.
No, he's been a number of games where he's played 40 minutes in there, but I mean, when you've got a player the calibre of Ron Verweeka on the bench, I mean, that's a hell of a player to bring on.
Yeah, it certainly is, and obviously Josh is still recovering from injury, so it's good to see him getting that rest early on.
Teo Ogedembe, 81.5% free throw shooter at the line. Almost a decade in the BBL now, starting with the Surrey Scorchers way back in 2011. Obviously played the majority with the Scorchers, and of that I'm pretty sure they're quite happy. Issa Brandon now for the Raiders. Kicks out to Ron Verweeka. Januska hands down low, here's Rashad Hassan, and he hands off to Will Neighbour, who just puts it in and with ease. Interesting for the Scorchers, we've not seen James Hawthorne come out yet. He's a big man that could contest with the likes of Will Neighbour. Maybe we'll see him later on. Matthew Bryant Manning in the low post, going to work and makes easy work of that, puts that in over Hassan. 23-15 with 2 minutes 32, the home side in control at the moment. Great dish down low and finish. Will Neighbour
Through the eye of a needle. Incredible pass.
He's having a hell of a first quarter, bearing in mind he's been relatively quiet. Teo under pressure, double team, pivots round, and there's a blocking foul on Kostas Januska. Putting plenty of body on Teo as he pivoted round. That'd be the 4th team foul, and I think that's Kostas' 2nd foul. Coach James may well pop him on the bench.
Yeah, he's a 2nd for Kostas Januska. The one we thought went on Denzel Ubiaro a moment ago didn't. It went on Januska.
So the end line ball, Henry Wilkins has come in for the Scorchers, and here is Hawthorne, who immediately puts up a 3. He's short, but Matthew Bryant Manning gets the rebound. Down low, Bryant Manning goes to work, can't get the finish. Will Neighbour with a good rebound, and he won't mind dribbling that down the court. Hands off to Issa Brandon, who's had himself a good last couple of weeks, or maybe even a month for the Raiders. Works incredibly hard. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Kostas goes to drive, and too much contact from Henry Wilkins. That will be a sideline foul. 14 seconds back on the shot clock.
Josh Wiltshire coming back into the game, relieving Kostas Januska. Quick breather for Josh, gets some fluids on board, and he's back on the floor.
And there he is straight away on the ball. Driving once again, kicks the ball out. And there's a foul on the floor once again.
Yeah, that will take him to the line this time and puts the Scorchers into that penalty area.
So Josh Wiltshire, like we've already said, 94.7% shooting from the free throw line. and makes his first. Also very impressive assist stats from Josh Wiltshire, 7.5 assists per game.
Yeah, and it's easy to see how he gets those numbers with some of the passes we've seen in this first quarter.
Yeah.
He almost has an extra sense to spot players that no one else would see.
Good pressure from the Raiders there. Josh Wiltshire, of course, is 4th on the league leaders currently for three ball goes up from Matthew Bryan Manning, falls short. Ron Voika knocks it out of play. Yeah, Josh Wiltshire 4th so far in terms of league leaders for the for assists. But that's a hell of a list. Ramon Fletcher's number 1, Kyron Cartwright number 2, and James Jones number 3.
Yeah, he's in good company.
Big 3 attempt goes up from Lavelle Cook, doesn't go. 50% shooter from 3 at the moment this season. He's missed out on that one though. Ron Voika chucks one up.
Great assist from Brandon there to put Voika into that open corner.
Immediate impact from Ron Voika since coming on. He's almost forced a turnover and now he's hit a big 3, and Hawthorne with a big impact now as well, getting inside and finishing with those long arms. Lovely layup. And we're into the last minute of the first quarter. Wiltshire. Voika goes for 2 for 2. Doesn't make it. Hassan with the rebound, but he just loses the handle on it. With 42 seconds to go, Skylar White comes back on the floor. Matthew Bryan Manning taking a breather, and Teo Ogendembe will come in for Lavelle Cook.
So we quite often talk about kits whilst we're sat here. Earlier in the season we spoke about the sleeves on the Scorchers kit. I just want to mention Ron Voika, who's bringing a whole new fashion back with the kit that looks a few sizes too small for him.
Tight shorts.
Yeah, very mid-80s kind of style.
He looks like a Larry Bird throwback, especially with that green kit.
Yeah.
It's very Celtics, that kit.
I'm not sure if it's a fashion statement or it's just a little bit too small for him.
Desperate to have number 7, that's the only one they have. Skylar White goes to the line then. Makes his first. Having a great season thus far in the blue, light blue for the Surrey Scorchers. And was from Clyde Hill, Washington. Shoots again. Another player in the BBL that's played NCAA Division 1. Which is something that I think is always going to be a positive when you look down a guy's stats and previous stats. If he's played NCAA Division 1, he knows what he's doing. So 32 seconds to go. Inbounded from Isa Brandon to Rashad Hassan, and Hawthorne almost hit the floor. Lost his footing.
Yeah, Hassan turned him on a sixpence there.
Josh Wiltshire looking to drive again. Kaylin Roftopper's almost turned it over. Isa Brandon, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Josh Wiltshire's got to go to work. 5 seconds, hands it down low. This time it's Hassan who loses his footing. Comes off of Skylar White and goes out of bounds. And even though there was a second left, they've given it to the Scorchers.
Yeah, I think Coach James isn't too happy about that. There was certainly time on the clock, and that ball bounced out of bounds before that buzzer sounded there, I think.
Absolutely. So we're waiting for the table to confer with the referee as to exactly what's going to happen. It did look like there was, and without the benefit of a replay, we can't obviously comment too much, but it did look like there was at least a second as the ball bounced out of bounds, which means that the 24-second shot clock went off a little premature. So the referees will discuss what's going to happen. Coach Paul James is currently playing as a 6th man there, down by the table. Slightly on the court.
Looks like that original's decision is going to stand, and they're going to go with the 24-second violation.
So here we go. Last 7 seconds. The clock is ticking away. This man can shoot. Kaylin Roftopoulos. He drives to the basket, takes it up strong. Doesn't go, and the clock will expire. A big heave from Ron Voika, and the first quarter is in the books. Plymouth Raiders 30, Surrey Scorchers 18, a 12-point lead for the Raiders. How do you feel about the first quarter so far, Phil?
It's actually been end-to-end stuff, and the scoreline actually, from Raiders' perspective, Coach James will be over the moon, I think, with what he's seen there. The defensive movement has been very nice. You've got players double teaming, stepping across closing lanes, there's hands blocking passes. I think they'll be very, very happy. Saying that, the Scorchers haven't played a bad game. I just think that the Raiders have been that level above at the moment, and they've made it very difficult for the Scorchers to keep up.
So both teams with decent contributions from the bench. Looking down the list, though, the Raiders, obviously, the big man matchup is potentially the key to this. Matthew Bryan Manning, obviously, is a huge figure in his 6 points so far. Only 2 rebounds. I would have thought he's going to get more by the end of the game, but I just thought he'd got more off the boards. But obviously, Will Neighbours having to mark him. It's kind of a situation where they're able to throw big bodies at him, if you like, which is going to probably tell as the game gets a bit older.
Yeah, we saw Leslie Smith not necessarily in foul trouble, but he picked up 2 quite quickly against Matthew Bryan Manning, and maybe that told the story a little bit of what Bryan Manning can do in there.
Yeah.
The standout stat from that first quarter is Josh Wiltshire on his 4 assists already.
Mostly to Rashad Hassan. So the Scorchers look to inbound. They currently on the court will have number 2 James Hawthorne, 8 Kayinu, 10 Raftopoulos, 15 Ogundembe, and 99 Skylar White. Raiders going with number 4 Wiltshire, number 7 Voika, 13 Issa Brandon, 15 Will Neighbour, and 22 double deuce Rashad Hassan. And it's Skylar White down low. Bit of contact from Will Neighbour goes down. Kayinu in the paint with only 7 seconds on the shot clock. Teo got his man in the air, fairly open shot, doesn't get it to go, and Ron Voika is off to the races, and the Raiders have got men up. Issa Brandon from the corner, and he gets fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 3.
Well, we don't see Issa Brandon shoot the 3 ball very often, and certainly unusual. We don't see many players get fouled on that 3-point line.
There was a key foul, of course, last weekend. Levi Bradley for the Bristol Flyers was fouled with only minimal seconds left. It was like 3 seconds left, wasn't it? Knocked down all 3 to send the game to overtime. That was a great game. That was. But Issa Brandon with a chance to knock down 3. He's good for 2 so far. Like we said at the top of the show, doesn't really tick statistically the boxes. He's only on a couple of points a game, and averages are a little bit minimum. But what he does, he's like you said before, he's kind of an assignment player. He plays great defence. He's a solid player. He doesn't turn the ball over a great deal.
No, he's a young guy, and to be lucky enough to have watched every game he's played, certainly at home this season, and I've not missed any games away either from watching online now. He's really grown. For me, he's a player that's really kind of grown into this system and grown.
Oh! James Hawthorne with the block. Wow.
That was big.
We'll have to mark that one down for the highlight reel.
Looking forward to seeing that again.
Easy play as Issa Brandon runs into the paint, and after incredible defence, the Surrey Scorchers just let him in for a quick, easy 2.
I think they were still congratulating on that block. Isn't it a shame when you see such great play in a block like that, only for the score to come so quickly afterwards and so poorly?
What a couple of minutes Issa Brandon's having. So a big rebound at one end. Obviously Ron Voika was blocked at the other. He came in for the quick 2. He's also just caused a turnover, and he's got the ball in his hands once again. Josh Wiltshire on the ball. Rashad Hassan dishes to Voika, who's looking for revenge, dumps the ball off beautifully to Rashad Hassan. Lovely unselfish basketball from Ron Voika.
Sign of experience there, I think, to dish at that stage.
Teo Ogundembe going to work on Will Neighbour, the bigger man. Kalen Raftopoulos with plenty of room shoots the air ball. And the Surrey Scorchers are looking somewhat rattled at the moment. 8:15 left in the first half, plenty of time. But the score currently reads Raiders 37, Scorchers 18. Endline ball, Issa Brandon about to put it in. And it's Josh Wiltshire to bring the ball down the floor. Lavelle Cook back out. Matthew Bryan and Manning also back out for the Surrey Scorchers to try and get some offense going and possibly some defense as well. 3 goes up from Josh Wiltshire, and that is a big 3 to extend the lead even more.
Well, we said the Raiders would need to win by 11 to take the head-to-head if it comes to that, and they're certainly on track to smash that 11 points.
Kayinu trying to get things going, and a turnover. Will Neighbour, who's just having one of those games where he doesn't seem to be able to put a foot wrong. Ron Voika for 3. In and out, comes out. Matthew Bryan and Manning with the rebound. Hands off to Raftopoulos. Here's Teo. Kayinu from the corner looks for 3. Doesn't get it. Big rebound by Will Neighbour. He was outnumbered there. Matthew Bryan and Manning on one side and Lavelle Cook on the other. Did well to bring down the rebound. And Scorchers really need to get a score on the board. The crowd in pavilions really getting behind the Raiders as Wiltshire puts the move, gets it down low, and another, what a point by Will Neighbour. He wanted a foul, but it's a great finish. I think maybe he made it look a bit too easy there, that's why he didn't get the foul. Matthew Bryan and Manning working down low, gets the 2 and 1.
Well, the Raiders are enjoying themselves at the moment, and big scoring. It's difficult to see how this game is getting away from the Scorchers, because to me the Raiders aren't doing anything special. They're doing everything super simple, and maybe that's what's paying off. They've not hit the stage yet, and I think they've still got 2 or 3 more gears to step up to if they need to. Probably worrying times for Scorchers at this stage, because they really seem to be getting blown away here.
Yeah. Early round of applause for Will Neighbour as he goes to the bench, and Leslie Smith comes on in his place. Matthew Bryan and Manning puts that one down. And it's a 21-point lead for the Plymouth Raiders. Lisa Brandon under pressure with the double team. Manages to get rid of it. Leslie Smith for 2, doesn't go. Rebound Matthew Bryan and Manning, but he's away. With Josh Wiltshire bearing down on him. Dishes out to the outside. Kaylin Raftopoulos gives up the 3 and they move the ball round. Lavelle Cook won't give that one up. Doesn't get it to go. And the Raiders will go the other way. It's a funny game, the modern game. It's very difficult to get excited about a big lead, because obviously with the 3-pointer being what it is, that lead can be halved and even, eradicated very quickly. Josh Wiltshire from miles out.
That was deep.
Goes for 3, doesn't get it, and it'll be end-line ball for the Scorchers. They're definitely having fun out there, the Raiders.
Well, that was a deep 3. Still have plenty of time left on that shot clock as well.
Tavius Payne back on the floor as well for the Scorchers as they try and chip away at the lead. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Corner. Tavius Payne short on the 3. Leslie Smith at the last touch. Going to be an end-line ball for the Scorchers. Kaylin Raftopoulos gets himself ready to inbound the pass. There's Payne on the ball, gets it down to Matthew Bryan and Manning, who's minimal opportunities to get things going in the low post. When he has, he's been very effective. Raftopoulos for 3, doesn't go. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Matthew Bryan and Manning wanted to travel. A little bit overzealous there, trying to knock the ball away from Rashad Hassan, and that'll be the second team foul and his first foul of the night.
Some nice defensive play which led to that on Bryan and Manning, which forced the kick out. You don't see that too often from him. He's normally strong enough to get that hook shot or the little spin move in there and the finish, and he's now, I think, being forced further and further away from the hoop.
Yeah. Leslie Smith trying to get it down to Rashad Hassan. Oh, Hassan just gives it away. It's a 3-on-1 now for the Scorchers. Lavelle Cook will lay it in and gets the foul. Ron Voika just leaving his body in the lane there. And that'll be the and 1 for Lavelle Cook. Great finish from him.
Timeout for the Raiders. They're just going to reset there a little bit. The Scorchers have hit 5 points in a row there. They've got another chance at the line to put on another 1.
5 unanswered points and still a 19-point game in favour of the Raiders. Like we said, plenty of time left to go in this one, but at this stage, I guess it's kind of a complacency thing, isn't it? We've already seen Josh Wiltshire chuck one up from way beyond the line. They're obviously enjoying the moment. We don't want them to get, or Raiders fans won't want them to get complacent in any way.
No, I think there needs to be a huge credit to the way Raiders have played defensively. Just looking through the box score here, the 2 points we've seen there was the first 2 points on a fast break for Surrey in the first 15 minutes of the game. And that to me says that the Raiders are working hard to get back and slow any fast break opportunity that's put out there.
Yeah.
Because there certainly has been opportunity. And the other huge thing for me, we're 42 points on the board for Raiders, 20 points have come from the bench, which is a nice statistic to have goals like that. It helps when you start with Rashad Hassan on the bench, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's go through some of the leaders currently. So leading all scorers with 12 is Rashad Hassan. Leading all rebounds is tied between Rashad Hassan and Matthew Bryan Manning on 4. And leading all assists is Josh Wiltshire with 6. Matthew Bryan Manning currently on 9 points. And Teo leading assists for Surrey Scorchers with 2 points. 3-point stats on the board so far is interesting. 42% so far from the Raiders and currently 0% for the Surrey Scorchers. They are 0 from 7 from 3 at the moment. That's the stat that they are going to definitely want to turn around as this game progresses. Lavelle Cook to the line. And he makes the and one, leading all scorers for the Surrey Scorchers this season, 18.4 points per game. He's been a key player since signing with them. A great addition for the Scorchers, Lavelle Cook. Josh Wiltshire for 3, in and out, doesn't go. Matthew Bryan Manning dishes, and here's the fastest man in the BBL, and there he goes off to the basket. Lovely finish and 1. And a great little spell for the Surrey Scorchers.
Yeah, there we go. We talk about some fast break points, and there's 4 in the last 40 seconds.
That guy is very rapid. Devontavious Payne is so quick. Looked like he'd given up the fast break and suddenly put the Jets on. And straight to the hoop for the foul on the and 1. And short on the and 1 rebound from Rashad Hassan. 42-26 to the Raiders. 4 minutes, 50 seconds remain. It's been a hell of a game so far. Both teams really attacking the basket. Leslie Smith with 9 seconds on the shot clock gives it away, and the Raiders have had a number of turnovers now. And the Surrey Scorchers are capitalising on that. Lavelle Cook straight to the basket for the 2. Lovely finish. Rashad Hassan goes down, holding his shin by the looks of it, but he's up and moving.
Yeah, as you were saying, the Scorchers are chipping away and closing that gap now.
Voika gets it down to Rashad Hassan. A number of just unforced turnovers really kicks it out. Leslie Smith, 4 seconds on the shot clock, and another turnover by the Raiders, and Paul James is readying Will Neighbour to kind of steady the ship, I guess. He's coming on for Leslie Smith, and it'll be Kostas Januska coming on the floor as well. Ron Voika will go to the bench. So the Raiders with a couple of changes there.
Yeah, some quick turnovers in quick succession for the Raiders. They've gone from playing a very strong first quarter. It's just become a little bit sloppy in the last 2 minutes or so.
Surrey Scorchers turnover, but it's called a late foul called, a bit of a body block by Will Neighbour. Devontavious Payne will be grateful of that, I think, to a degree, won't he? That's Will Neighbour's 3rd foul now, so now Coach James has got to think whether or not to leave him out there. Ron Voika is stepping up, and he will be coming in. It's a quick turnaround for Will Neighbour. We probably won't see him now until the second half. I
think he got about 25 seconds on the floor in that stint.
Almost a turnover. Oh, what have we got? Offensive foul. Devontavious Payne.
Well, I didn't see what happened there.
I think it's maybe Matthew Bryan Manning for that one. His 2nd foul, moving screen, I'm guessing. Sorry, we'll try and do a better job. As the Raiders.
I was too busy watching the ball.
That's right. That's what happens. Lovely dish inside and a finish from Rashad Hassan. There's been a number of lovely passes down low for the Raiders tonight. That was no exception. Lavelle Cook now going to work on Denzel Ubiaro, and Ubiaro with the block, and he's away at the races. But the Raiders will slow things down offensively as Josh Wiltshire brings the ball down the floor. He's driving again on Payne, gets it up, doesn't get it to go. And the Scorchers are quick on offense. Lavelle Cook will drive this time, hands out to Matthew Bryan, and Manning short on the three. And another rebound and out away. It's very quick to keep up with this, but lovely play by Ubiaro. He just left his blocks.
The vision from that outlet pass lovely there pass. From hoop to hoop was really great.
And looking at what we're watching now, I'd quite like to see Denzel Ubiaro and Devontavious Payne in a bit of a track sprint, because that was quick outlet, and Teo Ogdenbi goes to work. A big block by Ron Voika. He will have enjoyed that, having been blocked before. Cross-court pass to Voika. He goes to work on Ray Kaelin Raftopoulos. Januska now drives in on the big man, finishes.
Well, that timeout for the Raiders has certainly done the trick there.
So that three will not count by Lavelle Cook. Timeout by the Scorchers. Kaelin and Creon Raftopoulos discussing. I'm guessing they're discussing the block by Ron Voika down low. There's obviously it was an aggressive kind of block.
Well, Coach Creon's not happy. I think he's putting the referees in a no-win situation there with his run. I think he's unhappy that his three-point shot didn't count. But if he'd missed, he would have been happy that they hadn't given him his timeout.
That's right.
Can't have it all, unfortunately.
So the lead is back to 20. 2 minutes 31 left on the clock. Who's impressed you so far in this game?
Plymouth Raiders.
Team effort.
Yeah, very much so. They look a much more combined unit. Ron Voika is threading the ball through. Josh Wiltshire is back at his assisting best, 7 assists already in this game. Hassan is back to where we saw him earlier in the season. He looked buoyed at times. Up until the last couple of games, he looked a little bit downbeat in games, and he's back to being that monster that we've seen around the hoop. Will Neighbours brought something new. Leslie Smith's playing great defence. As a unit, the Raiders look sensational at the moment.
Well, Skylar White will take to the floor once again. We've not seen a great deal from Skylar White tonight. Obviously, he's only played about 10 minutes so far. He's one of the better players for the Surreys. In fact, statistically, he probably is their better player. He's their highest rated efficiency player currently this season. Down low, Teo goes to work, and he gets the and one. And it's on Rashad Hassan or Costas. It's on Costas Januski. If that's Costas, that's his third foul.
I think it might have even been Ron Voika. I think it's gone on Ron Voika.
I think you're right, yeah. It's a 7. That's his second foul, so no issues there. But that is the 5th team foul from the Raiders. So no matter what now, the Scorchers will go to the line. But obviously Teo made his shot, gets the and one. 17.1 points per game this season so far in the BBL Championship for Teo Ogdenbi. A solid scorer since joining the Surrey Scorchers. And rejoining, I suppose you could say. It's Josh Wiltshire now. Kicks the pass across, and Skylar White with the interception, and Josh Wiltshire returns the favour. Drops it off to Sam. What a dunk. Beautiful play by the Raiders on the break.
There's more of that chemistry. We're seeing those guys really working that ball nicely together.
Skylar White for 3. He's a dangerous man from 3.
Fantastic response from Skylar White. It's their first 3 points of this game.
Skylar White's contribution obviously now needs to up a notch if the Scorchers are going to chip away at this lead. Januska with a pass out to Voika, who drives in with 8 on the shot clock. Scoop shot doesn't go. Skylar White with the rebound. He's everywhere right now for the Scorchers. Hawthorne out to Payne, who knocks down another 3, and it's a timeout by coach Paul James with 1 minute 12 left as the lead is cut to 14.
Yeah, so we've seen our first 2 3-point shots from the Scorchers there in a period of 15 seconds. Skylar White's been huge from the three-point line, but he's only taken 2 of those three-point shots this evening.
Yeah.
Is that good defence from the Raiders, or is it a slight change of game plan from the Scorchers? We've not really seen the ball in Skylar White's hands around that kind of area, have we?
No, things are opening up on the floor a little bit. Maybe Paul James will want to tighten that up. But the Surrey Scorchers, it's kind of make or break time, isn't it? They want to get this lead down to single digits sometime between now and the end of the third quarter, I would imagine, to give themselves a good chance. And that they start knocking down threes does not bode well for the Raiders. But obviously Coach James has obviously called a timeout for that very reason.
Yeah, and that
It's even closer than we thought. And here's Josh Wiltshire on the ball as time ticks away on the first half.
Yeah, it's been a much tighter quarter this, with it currently sitting at 20-19 to the Raiders in the second.
Yeah. Wiltshire with Raftopoulos on him. Kostas Yunusko is open for 3. Doesn't get it to go. Big rebound by James Hawthorne. Gets up well. And Raftopoulos goes to work. Kicks it out. Had the layup there, but he's trying to get it out to Skylar White. Cross-court pass to Lavelle Cook, who pulls up for 3. Comes way off. Hawthorne chases it down. Last touch deemed to be Rashad Hassan. It looked like the referee had given that in favour of the Scorchers. The referee nearest the incident as well, but it's overturned by the other 2 referees.
And from this position, it looked like it should have been the Scorchers' ball. Obviously,
yeah.
they see a different view, and we missed something there.
It's interesting. The referee that was nearest seemed to call it the Raiders, the Scorchers' way. That may pay dividends as the game goes on, but the Raiders are on the attack now. 22 seconds to go. 9 on the shot clock, so they've got to get one up before the end of the half. 5 on the shot clock, and a lovely 3 from Denzel Ubiaro, with Teo Ogundebi bearing down on him. 8 seconds to go. Drive by Lavelle Cook. Gets the roll, does he? No. Hawthorne with the rebound, puts that up and in, and time will expire. 14-point lead for the Raiders, 53-39. An impressive first half display by the Plymouth Raiders. And the Surrey Scorchers with an impressive, let's say, second quarter display. They're starting to get back into it shooting-wise. Sum it up for us, Phil.
Yeah, definitely. I think the timeout we saw towards the end of the quarter there, the Scorchers came out looking for that 3 ball. I think that was quite evident when we saw Raftopoulos drive through the middle and kick out wide. He had the open lane to finish, and he still kicked out for the 3 ball. They were trying to close that gap. It didn't happen for them. That said, 14 points. The game's certainly not over.
No.
Both teams are more than capable of closing that gap very, very quickly. And we saw a few small scoring runs there from the Scorchers, and we may well see a bit more of that in the third quarter. I'm still going my pre-game prediction. Whoever won the first quarter wins the game. At the moment, I just think Raiders, if they can play a second half like they've played the first, they're just far too strong to give this game up.
Absolutely. So that's the first half in the books. Let's give you the league leaders, or the game leaders, I should say. Rashad Hassan leads all points with 16. He also leads all rebounds with 7. And Josh Wiltshire with an impressive 8 assists, leads all assists. Leading Scorchers, Lavelle Cook with 11. Matthew Bryant Manning, 11 points. Is Matthew Bryant Manning with 5 rebounds and only 2 assists with Ogundebi. So far leading it for the Scorchers. That will do us for the first half. Don't go too far away.
You're very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, you're a Plymouth College grader, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes.
Is the coach rubbish?
No.
Good answer. Well done, Charlie. It's like Bobby set that up, isn't it? Activation program has also picked up. We saw you last, it's going very, very well. Coach Paul Nicholson, also the Plymouth College Raiders coach, is looking after the activation program at Surrey College, not to be confused. So that's Tuesday and Thursday morning. Once again, more information on that from the channel. The website, please come on there. Very light activity, that's probably the case as well. Or if it's on Thursday, you might be lucky enough to get this. Oh, I'm sorry, have I got what you want? Too long on our feet. So how are you enjoying the activation program? Are you going to be? Oh, that's the thing you've done there. Oh, it's like we've done this deliberately. Honestly, you wouldn't get it. We are certainly in front of that. Okay, so the moment of truth. We have a massive big grand prize tonight. If you win, you can win. £109, everybody. Yes, £109. Look. Oh, £100 to do that. We'll talk to you about the rules later. Okay, right, everyone, let's just pick up ready. It is grey. I will check with you, Doctor. Grey. Thank you. That's a grey jersey. That's what I'm wearing. Okay, so it's grey ticket 8862890. Grey ticket 8862890. Come on down. Pick the one really. She will give you something envelope. £109. The two counties. You all make some shots. You? Did anyone see you make a shot? Awesome. You're enjoying the coaching there? Well done, young man. You have won the lovely shiny ball. Right, in all, we have just over a week to practice. I want to see more and more stuff being made.
Welcome back to Plymouth Pavilions for some more BBL Championship action between the home team Plymouth Raiders and the visiting Surrey Scorchers. If you missed the first half, you missed a hell of a first half. Exciting, big leads, big runs by both teams, but currently stands Plymouth Raiders 53 and the Surrey Scorchers 39. Surrey Scorchers finishing the first half probably the stronger of the two, cutting into what was a 20-point lead as we look to start the second half. Phil?
Yeah, it really is a good performance by the Raiders. Potentially looking at back-to-back wins in the Championship. I think a lot of people had written them off this season, and they went on a 13-14 game losing streak. But that's possibly not as bad as it looks, because that was split over 3 competitions. It wasn't 13-14 losing games in the Championship. And whilst they went 6 games without a win, that's not the end of the road. It's certainly easy to come back from. One huge stat that stands out to me from that first half, Josh Wiltshire, 8 assists, Surrey Scorchers 7. So one man for the Raiders has picked up 8, whilst the entire Surrey Scorchers squad has only managed 7. Some of the balls that he's put around this floor this evening have been works of art. He's found guys that he had no right to manage to get a ball through to.
So we're about ready to start the third quarter. Let's give you a rundown of who we've got on the floor right now. So the Raiders going out with number 4, Josh Wiltshire, number 7, Ron Voika, number 10, Denzel Ubiaro, number 12, Kostas Yanuska, and number 22, Rashad Hassan. And the Surrey Scorchers on the floor currently with number 2, James Hawthorne, number 10, Creon Raftopoulos, number 13, Lavelle Cook, number 15, Teo Ogundembe, 99, Skylar White. Matthew Bryan Manning, who's off to the races for a dunk straight away, which cuts the lead to 12. And the Raiders look to get their first half offense underway. Will Neighbour back on the floor after getting in foul trouble early on. Josh Wiltshire for 2 from the baseline, knocking that one down. Lavelle Cook is away, but he's met with a number of green jerseys, and the Surrey Scorchers will reset with Devontavious Payne looking to find a way in. Cross-court pass to Lavelle Cook, and Matthew Bryan Manning gets down to the low post. 2 big men down there, Leslie Cook and Matthew Bryan Manning. Skylar White jacks up a 3, and a rare air ball from Skylar White.
You don't see that very often. The Raiders crowd certainly enjoyed seeing that one.
Even with someone in his face, he normally knocks those down. We've seen it time and time again in the BBL this season. But the Raiders will be thankful of that. Denzel Ubiaro. As the ball moves, foul is called. It looks like it's on Lavelle Cook. Blocking foul, baseline ball for the Raiders. That would be his first foul of the night. As Josh Wiltshire makes his way over slowly. And the Raiders will reset. 14 seconds put up on the shot clock. Kostas Yanuskis looked like he was going to take the 3, almost double dribbled. Lavelle Cook applying good defense. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Leslie Smith has got to go to work now. He does. Comes up short. Good defense from Matthew Bryan Manning. As the battle of the 2 big guys continues. Corner 3 is up and good from Lavelle Cook, and he talks to Kostas Yanuska as he walks past him. Well, words have been spoken. The lead now is down to 11. Denzel Ubiaro, double team, manages to kick out, find Will Neighbour, walks into a 3, but gives it up to Lavelle Cook. Gives it up to Leslie Smith, who evades Lavelle Cook for the 2.
Yeah, nice pass from Will. The chemistry on the floor there between Will Neighbour and Leslie Smith is really nice to see at the moment. They're really looking for each other in those open spaces.
2 big men working well. Big rebound by Matthew Bryan Manning, and that could be and is the 3rd foul on Leslie Smith. So Matthew Bryan Manning causing mischief down there. The Raiders big men getting into relative foul trouble as we are, got plenty of time on the clock in this one.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Tough to defend. Yeah. Contact from
Manning and Smith again there going at each other.
So Ubiaro picks up his first foul. Too much contact, body contact there on his man. Here's Matthew Manning outside looking to move the ball. Devontavious Payne down to Teo. Teo slips, the ball slips out of his hands. And the Raiders are going the other way. Josh Wiltshire on the ball. Leslie Smith pulls up for 2 and a swish from Leslie Smith. Raiders back up to a 15-point lead. Ball knocked away by Leslie Smith. He's not happy
there, and there's a technical foul. That's Leslie Smith out of the game.
That's 5 fouls now for Leslie Smith. Gives up the foul, gives up the tech, and he's now making his way off the floor.
That's fouls 4 and 5 in seconds there. That's disappointing to see.
Well, that is something of a win for the Surrey Scorchers. Big man Leslie Smith will take to the bench, and that's one less body they can throw at Matthew Manning. And it's Lavelle Cook to the line, 90% shooting from the free throw line, so it's no wonder he's taking the free throw.
Well, Leslie Smith was doing a great job there on Brian Manning. Again, the referees see different angle of things from what we see. I think the foul there was harsh, but his reaction just can't be allowed.
No.
If you create like that in front of all these people, then the referees are going to react on it, and they're going to call you for the tee.
So the inbound pass into Matthew Manning, who's guarded now by Rashad Hassan. Bit of a size difference, and a foul called on Rashad Hassan. A little bit of unrest now at Pavilions. The crowd quieting down considerably. I think that foul was called on the floor. It looks like it's going to be an end-line ball for the Scorchers, although it did look like Matthew Manning had started the move. And indeed it's been corrected, and he will go to the line.
I have to watch this game back again, but I think that may even have been Brian Manning's first attempt for a left-hand finish in this game up to this point. He's very strong with the right hand, and it's very rare that you see the left, and the ball didn't drop with the left, so maybe that's why he stays away from it. But I'm sure we haven't seen a left-hand finish from him all evening.
And Matthew Manning 2 for 2 on that one, as the Raiders with Denzel Ubiaro, tight defence by Teo Ogendembe, and too much contact from Teo with a reach. And the foul is called. Denzel will put the sideline ball in. Still 7 minutes, 16 seconds left in this quarter. It's been a little bit cagey. Plenty of fouls to start with. Raiders already on 5 team fouls, which they've got to be careful of. Inbound passes, a lovely one and a great finish by Hassan. Beautiful pass by Kostas Januska. Devontavious Payne hands off to the danger man. Skylar White down low to someone who's just equally as dangerous. Matthew Manning backing down on Will Neighbour. Puts it up and in. Kostas Januska will inbound the pass. Pressure defense from the Scorchers. It's a 13-point lead for the Raiders. Plenty of time left on this one. Teo Ogendembe is called for another foul. 2 quick fouls from him in quick succession. That is only his second foul, but quick turnaround for him. Josh Wiltshire will inbound the pass.
A bit of a needless foul there, I think.
Scorchers doing their best to get in amongst the Raiders and not make anything easy. Devontavious Payne goes to the floor. Will Neighbour jacks up a
Big
3
from Will Neighbour.
Hits the 3 and then he falls over Devontavious Payne. I think the Raiders will need that 3 just to settle things down a little bit. 64-48 the score. The Scorchers doing a good job of spoiling things as it is. Yeah, sorry.
Uno Payne still on the floor there. Will Neighbour tripped over. He put up that 3 ball, and as he was just reversing away, he tripped over Devontavious Payne. He's back on his feet. He's looking okay.
He's up. It looks like they might be bringing Raftopoulos on for him. Yeah. So Kaelin Raftopoulos will come on. Devontavious Payne will go and take a breather. East Tennessee State, that's a big school to have come from to Devontavious Payne.
Yeah, Payne's just gone to the bench there gingerly.
He's going out I think he looks like he's going out there.
He is, yeah, he's gone out there to the back.
It'll be interesting to see whether he comes back, because he's influential. Obviously, Kaelin Raftopoulos is a hell of a player to bring off the bench. But Devon Tavius Payne has had a great impact on the Scorchers since arriving. Drive by Teo Ogundenbi, and that is what he does best. Strong finish from him, and a full court press is back on. Ubiaro brings it down the floor. Teo's got to be careful, doesn't want to pick up another foul, so he's given Ubiaro a little bit more space. Down low to Deuce. Foul called as Ubiaro ran around Kaelin Raftopoulos, and Kaelin wouldn't let him get free, and the foul is called. It's his second foul.
I think what I find interesting there is it was a bit of a nothing foul, but the reaction from Raftopoulos isn't too different to what we saw from Leslie Smith.
No.
Leslie Smith obviously received a technical foul and made his way out of the game for that.
Oh, rebound by Rashad Hassan. Josh Wiltshire tried to make the most of Kaelin Raftopoulos, who was arguing still with the referee. And Rashad Hassan gets the putback. NBA backing down on a smaller man, got a mismatch down there for the Scorchers. 10 seconds on the shot clock, and he's moved his pivot for...
Great defence from Ubiaro. He stood his ground. There's a bit of a size difference between the two, but he wasn't letting Brian Manning in there.
Does possess great defensive skills, Ubiaro, for a young man that's not been in the league particularly long. He's learnt a fairly decent trade early on, hasn't he? Kostas Januska kicks it down to Rashad Hassan. He's got Skylar White on him. He pivots, turns down low, gets the hook up, doesn't go. Teo with the rebound. 16-point lead to the Raiders. Scorchers chipping away.
That's Hassan's first miss of this evening.
Val Cook pulls up. He's been pretty automatic from that spot tonight, but short on that occasion. The Raiders come back down the floor. And less than 5 minutes to go in the third. Lovely cross-court pass from Wiltshire, and the three is good from Kostas Januska. And the Raiders seem to be able to find space on the court right now.
Yeah, that's a double-digit assist for Josh Wiltshire there. That puts him on 10. That was a lovely little look out to the corner.
Pivot move, lovely move by Matthew Brandon Manning, but he's short on that one. Overcooked it, in fact, a little bit. And Josh Wiltshire will bring it down the floor, splits the pair, kicks it down to the baseline. Januska for three, doesn't go. Kaelin Raftopoulos with the rebound, kicks it out to Teo. They've got a bit of a numbers up, 3 on 2. Teo for three, doesn't go. Skylar White with the rebound and put back and one.
And that's a foul, I think, which is going to go on Will Neighbour. Yeah, that's his fourth.
Great sequence there for the Scorchers. 3 on 2 on the break. Teo saw the sort of mismatch down low, took the three. Skylar White came in with the rebound and the putback.
And we're going to see Ron Verweeka back into the game to relieve Will Neighbour.
So the lead for the Raiders, I had to just double check that, is back up to 21. It's been more, it looked like it'd been more of a contest in this third quarter, but the Raiders still able to edge away.
Yeah, I think the
it
concern
looks like the scoreboard was updated incorrectly.
We've gone back down to 19. I think there probably would have been an element of concern for Coach James that the Raiders were losing their discipline a little bit early in this quarter, but they seem to have settled back into the game now.
Pivot move by Matthew Bryan Manning. He's short on the put up and forcing things a little bit now down low. Matthew Bryan Manning. Wiltshire drives, finds Kostas in the corner, doesn't take the three but kicks it out to Hassan. Ubiaro drives the lane, kicks it out. Lovely ball movement and a three from Wiltshire.
Wow.
What a play! Wow, what a play!
That is superb. We see Coach Danny McGee on his feet there as well. He loves play like that. It's not very often we see him on his feet.
Well, anybody who's ever seen the classic footage of the Harlem Wrens way back when, that looked very similar to that. Neither player playing kind of hot potato without moving the ball around. Anyway, Teo Ogundenbi at this end has been fouled. Obviously, Raiders over the limit, but I think he was shooting anyway, but he'll go to the line for two.
It's a third foul on Ron Verweeka.
So the foul's creeping up for the Raiders right now, which could be costly as we get down the stretch. 20-point lead currently though, 72-52. Teo with a chance to make his second. He misses a pair on that one, which is quite rare for him. Usually a fairly high percentage shooter from free throw, 81.5%. Rashad Hassan down low, too much body on him from Henry Wilkins, who we haven't seen much of tonight. He's another outside threat from the Scorchers. They've got a number of players who can shoot that three ball.
Yeah, he's played less than 2 minutes so far.
And that is enough to send Rashad Hassan to the line. Scorchers over the limit now as well. Still 3 minutes left in this third quarter. Plenty of time to go.
Interestingly, just going back to Henry Wilkins there, he's played around a minute and 40, and that's his third foul.
That'll essentially do it, won't it? That'll keep you on the bench.
Yeah.
Rashad Hassan makes his second. Tayorgan Denby. Tight defense from Costas. Here's a three from Skylar White, and he's short. Rebound, Henry Wilkins kicks it out. Graf-Topoulos trying to find some space. Crossover, three, doesn't go. He's way off on that one. And Ron Voika with the rebound.
Some nice ball handles there from Graf-Topoulos. Couldn't get the finish. Big block.
Big block by Teo, yeah, on Ron Voika again. Voika goes down into the corner. He wasn't spotted by Rashad Hassan. He continues to go tough to the basket. An impressive night by Rashad Hassan, back to fitness, and it's making a hell of a difference to the Raiders.
Yeah, he's double-doubled already.
Scorchers. Graf-Topoulos kicks it out, and we said it earlier. Henry Wilkins is dangerous from three, and he knocks that one down without a second thought. Substitution called. Teo will go to the bench. Devontavious Payne comes in. Skylar White back to the bench. Struggling tonight, not his usual self. And Matthew Bryner Manning will head back to the floor. Raiders moving the ball well. Issa Brandon had plenty of space, finds Ron Voika in the corner. Here's Issa Brandon again. Goes on a drive, kicks it out, a cross-court pass. Voika for three. What a lovely play. And the Raiders are back in control. 79-55, 1:42 left in the third. Nice dish by Graf-Topoulos. Nice steal by Januska.
Just hopped out of bounds there, and luckily couldn't keep his balance as he took that ball away.
Yeah, just put his foot on the line, but decent defensive play by the Raiders on that one.
Unfortunate turnover there.
Scorchers have a chance to reset. 14 seconds on the shot clock. It's gone straight down low to Matthew Bryner Manning. He turns. Dish is difficult there for Hawthorne to gather in. Voika with the pass, tricked Issa Brandon, I think, as much as anybody else there. It looked like he was going the other way.
Yeah, I think we all were looking for the kick to the right.
1:21 left in the third. Devontavious Payne sprints down the lane. Looked like it was going to be a dunk, but gets the layup. Lovely finish by him. The Scorchers have got an awful lot of work to do. Ubiaro likes to drive as well. Kicks it out to Brandon. Drops it down low to Rashad Hassan with the big man on him. Turns, doesn't get it. Issa Brandon rebound, puts it straight up and in. Raiders fans are going pretty wild here at Pavilions. Payne for three, doesn't get it, and over the back foul by Henry Williams. Way too strong on that attempt. And that's put him on 4 fouls. He'll go back to the bench again, I imagine. I know they're leaving him out there.
He almost showing some signs of frustration with that foul as well. The way he kind of walked away from that, and he's still kind of wandering around muttering to himself. I don't think he's happy with how this is going.
Ron Voika short on his first. 88.9% free throw shooter, so you expect the next one to go down. And it does.
Right, well, I looked away from play there. I can only assume there was a foot over the line on the inbound.
Well, a cheap turnover by the Surrey Scorchers. It's a little bit speechless from that, really. Ball goes in low to Rashad Hassan, out to the corner to Kostas Januska, who knocks down a three.
That's how to cash in.
30 seconds to go in the third. And a steal by Kostas Januska. Great exchange by him. A pass ends up off the shins of Tolo Akiki, ends up back with Ron Voika.
So there's about a second difference at the moment between the game clock and the shot clock, so they're going to run this down.
Here goes Ron Voika. He's got a bit of a size mismatch. He pulls out for the three. Oh! And that will wrap up the third quarter.
Incredible.
Pavilions on its feet. Plymouth Raiders 88. Visiting Surrey Scorchers 57.
31-point game.
And a very, very quick 6-point turnaround for the Raiders at the very end of that quarter. Impressive defense from Kostas Januska. Able to turn it over and then obviously capitalising with the three at this end. Wow. What have the Scorchers got to do now?
If I had an answer, I wouldn't be sat up here with you. The Raiders are shooting the ball. They're struggling to miss, if I'm honest. When you get shots like that from Ron Voika at the end, the Scorchers are really up against it.
55% from three tonight, the Raiders. This is the best they've shot the three ball all season long.
Surrey have got some of the best three-point shooters in the league. Skylar White is 1 from 4 this evening. This is the Raiders that I think people that have been coming here since the start of September knew this Raiders were in there. I think that's probably been a little bit more frustrating for Raiders fans with loss after loss after loss, knowing what some of these guys are capable. There's obviously been a few personnel changes throughout the season.
Sure.
Chemistry, morale, everything is through the roof in these guys at the moment, and that's really showing. They're enjoying their basketball.
Well, when it's going your way, it's going your way, isn't it? 88-57. At the moment, that is obviously blowing the aggregate out of the water as Foxy goes for his dunk, and it's good. It couldn't get any better, could it?
It's, I'm still struggling to get over, and if it was what I think it was, where the foot was over the line for the baseline inbound, that's the second time I've seen that today. You don't see it very often at this level. I was watching a little bit of the Next Gen tournament where Bark and Abbey are playing in a European Academy tournament. And I saw it happen there this afternoon, and you don't tend to see it too often. It's a mistake that shouldn't happen at this level.
Well, the crowd, as you can hear, pretty ruckus here at Pavilions as Henry Wilkins gets ready to inbound the fourth quarter. We're all set. There'll be some comeback now if the Surrey Scorchers manage to get this one. Obviously with the aggregate, I guess they'll be happy to get it within the 11-point or the 10-point sort of area. Matthew Bryan and Manning down low, goes to work and gets the early two. Tola Akiki now seeing some minutes for the Raiders. Came in late in the third, starts the fourth. Feisty, good defensive player, passes it around to Voika. Under pressure from James Hawthorne. They've got some length on the floor now. The Scorchers, and it's an overcooked pass by Voika. There's Kalen Raftopoulos as the Scorchers need to get points on the board early, and he makes a lovely drive out to a Manning, who drives in himself, puts it up and in, and gets the and one.
Raftopoulos doesn't want to finish this evening. 2 or 3 times now we've seen him clear to the basket, and he's kicked out again.
He's always the thought of the smaller player. You're always worried about someone coming along and swatting it away, but you're right. He's
been clean through again there. He could have got the finish. I can understand if he's kicking out for the 3-point, but that didn't seem to be the idea there.
Well, it's a 3-point play. Matthew Bryan and Manning at the line. Consistently good player for the London City Royals, of course. Big part of the silverware winning season, and of course playoff final as well. It's no mean feat to make that playoff final against the Leicester Riders.
Yeah, obviously we're going to see more and more of that Royals legacy spread around the league. Unfortunately, after they passed. Obviously we've got Will Neighbour sat here now. And there are going to be a few more players around the league, you can guarantee that.
Rashad Hassan will go to the line for the M1. Strong finish from him. He's looked more like himself tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, very much so. It's good to see him back.
Big rebound by Kostas Junuska. Out rebounded 3-1 on that one. No such luck on this one. NBA with the board. And Raftopoulos brings the ball down the floor. They get it in down low. He had great positioning by Matthew Bryan-Manning on Kostas Junuska, and there's no way he's going to miss that one. So the Raiders again moving the ball. Henry Wilkins out on the top. Kick ball, I would have thought there, but not given. But there's already 14 seconds on the shot clock, so it's irrelevant. So Ron Voika, Issa Brandon coming over will take the sideline in for the Raiders. 8:34 left, 90 points to the Raiders, 64 to the Surrey Scorchers. Huge deficit for the Scorchers to chip away at, but of course the aggregate kind of effect could come into this game. Nice move by Ron Voika, gets nothing but net on that one.
How can you describe Ron Voika's game this evening?
He literally does a bit of everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been fantastic tonight. He's pulled a lot of strings and made a lot of things happen.
Raftopoulos with a great dish to the big man. Nice. And Manning, what a finish by Matthew Bryan-Manning. He's getting it working down low.
Superb, that little spin move and the right hand finish. You see that a lot from him.
He's now on 21 points for the night. Kostas Junuska drives inbound pass. It's a good one. Nice dish. He looked like he'd lost the ball, Hassan. He gets it out to the corner. And Ron Voika knocks down the three.
I think Ron Voika took 4 or 5 seconds off the clock there as well with that three.
Nice quick transition finish by Lavelle Cook there, driving the lane, gets a great roll. Looked like he was going to dunk it, but played it safe. 95-64. Well, Josh Wiltshire looked like he was going to drive. Shot goes up from Kostas. Another three from the Raiders. That puts the lead back to 30 points. Great start to the quarter from the Scorchers, but the drive in by Lavelle Cook. Great finish.
12 from 21 for the Raiders at 3 points.
It was an impressive start to the quarter by the Scorchers. Looked like they were going to chip away, and then suddenly the lead back up. And a dish by Voika. No advantage on the play, of course, as the foul is committed by Matthew Bryan-Manning. It'll be an end-line ball.
It's his third foul. Skylar White and Teo back on the floor. Say goodbye to Hawthorne and Wilkins for a short spell.
So Kostas to the line. Kostas Junuska, he played a bit of 3-on-3, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He was, if I remember rightly, he was slightly late joining the Raiders training camp this summer. He was in one of the, I'm going to get this completely wrong now, but he was in one of the World 3-on-3 tournaments.
Representing Lithuania.
Yeah, I think they got quite a fair way into the tournament as well.
It's a funny, it's enjoyable, it's exciting to watch, but it's funny watching 3-on-3 at that kind of standard, like World Championships 3-on-3.
Yeah.
But he's having a night tonight for the Raiders. He's made a big impact. Here's Josh Wiltshire. Jacks up the three. Doesn't go. The rebound is with Lavelle Cook. Lavelle Cook on the ball. Gets it down low. Matthew Bryan-Manning having a great quarter. Going to work again on Will Neighbour. Puts it up. The rebound is Issa Brandon. And Issa Brandon is away. And yeah, rightly so. We'll take some time off the clock. Kostas Junuska. Give it to Josh Wiltshire. Just running some time down. Very static offense from the Raiders, but Will Neighbour with plenty of room and a lovely turn and pivot shot.
It's very patient play from the Raiders, and obviously they've done enough in this game to allow them to play that way now. They don't need to run and gun. They can take time off the clock. They can look for the easy, high percentage shots.
Well, they've broken 100 already, the Raiders, and there's still 6 minutes left. Matthew Bryan and Manning backing down Will Neighbour. Will Neighbour's got to be careful. I'm not sure if that's on Ron Voika. It's on Ron Voika.
Oh, on Ron Voika.
Thankfully. Otherwise, Will Neighbour will be making his way to the bench. That is Ron Voika's 4th foul. So he has got to be careful with 5:55 left on the clock, although funny old lead, 30 points, isn't it?
I think if the Scorchers come back and take this game, then we'll all pack up and finish it right now.
I'll tell you what a comeback that would be. The funny thing is they've got the shooters to do it. Matthew Bryan and Manning to the line for his second. He's short on that one, and Will Neighbour gets the rebound. Kick ball by Teo. An inline ball. Kaelin Roth-Topoulos stays up. The full press is on. As Will Neighbour is forced to bring the ball down the floor, but he hands off to Issa Brandon. Kaelin Roth-Topoulos is on him. And the Raiders happy just to dribble side to side and take some time off the clock. Tries to dish it down low, doesn't. 6 seconds on the shot clock, and Will Neighbour with the easy dunk. It's become a bit of a celebration, but like we said earlier, when it's going your way, it's going your way, and that could have gone anywhere, and it ended up with Josh Wiltshire.
There's a look of pure confusion on Will Neighbour's face there. The amount of time and space he had to throw that one down.
Nice move down low by Teo Ogendembe, and it's just been the Raiders' night, hasn't it? Timeout, Paul James. 102-73, 5:19 to go. I mean, what do you say in a timeout now in this situation?
The Scorchers need to try and close this gap. I certainly don't think they're going to come back and take anything from this game other than trying to reduce that score deficit.
Yeah.
As you've said, they've got the guys on the floor who are capable of scoring the ball. Do I believe that they're capable of scoring enough to win this game? No, I don't. Do I believe that they're capable of reducing it and creating a little bit of havoc around that 11-point lead that the Raiders would need to take the head-to-head? Yes, I do.
Yeah. Well, that's what it becomes now, doesn't it? It becomes more of the aggregate than tonight's score. Obviously, the Raiders will want the 2 points on the board 100% because, like we said earlier, they've struggled to get points on the board in the league so far. Great win away at the Rocks last week, but now it's a case of trying to keep that 11-point advantage clear. They're doing a great job of it so far, as both teams look to take the floor once again. Smiles all around the Raiders team right now, and the crowd is becoming fairly deafening, actually.
Yeah, I'm just going to nod back to that assist stat column as well. Josh Wiltshire is still 1 assist ahead of the Surrey Scorchers.
Double-double for him tonight already. Double-double for Rashad Hassan as well. Hassan has gone to the bench. Obviously recently injured. Lovely little give and go. Oh, it's unlucky not to get the finish. Fights for his own rebound. Ends up with Josh Wiltshire. 14 seconds back on the shot clock. It's in the corner. Kostas Januska. Driving the dunk by Kostas. Skylar White was just left in his wake.
Confidence is high.
Wow. Matthew Bryan and Manning, 25 points in the game so far for Matthew Bryan and Manning, having himself a good one. Skylar White for 3, knocks it down. That's the kind of thing the Scorchers need now to get back into this. At least to get close to that aggregate score.
And that's probably a little bit more of what we're used to seeing from Skylar White.
Nice little back cut from Issa Brandon. Oh, that's 3 points going up from Ron Voika, and the Raiders feel like they cannot miss. Still over 50% from 3 tonight, the Raiders. 22% from the Scorchers. Ball tipped away as the inbound pass looked like it was going to reach Teo. Tipped away by Will Neighbour. Substitutions being called. Devon Davis Payne comes in, Hawthorne comes in. Roth-Topoulos and Matthew Bryan and Manning will go to the bench. 4 minutes to go. Do you think that's the last we see of Matthew Bryan and Manning?
Yeah, I would think so.
Oh,
I would think so. There's no reason to leave him out there and risk him for the next game now.
no. Well, we had the discussion not that long ago on the Below the Rim podcast as to whether or not Matthew Bryan and Manning moves the needle for the Surrey Scorchers. The 3 is off by Ubiaro. And tonight's anything to go by. They've got a little way to go. Devontavious Payne is off again. Down low to Skylar White. Gives up the free shot in the lane. Not been Skylar White's night tonight.
Unusual. 9 points for Skylar White.
Boika gives the ball away, and it's Devontavious Payne on the break. Kostas Januska. Plenty of contact there from Januska, but the call is a travel. Not sure how to read that one. The ball wasn't quite controlled by Hawthorn, but there was plenty of contact. But it will be Raiders' ball. A 31-point lead with 3 minutes 12 to go in the fourth. Ubiaro will bring the ball down the floor. Devontavious Payne will be guarding him. Switch out, the big man comes to him. Hawthorn is on Ubiaro. Ubiaro will drive in and gets the finish, and one. Strong finish by Denzel Ubiaro. He loves going to the basket.
Yeah, looking down from here, the Raiders bench are on their feet at every possession at the moment. They're really enjoying this, and rightly so. I think they've played well enough to enjoy it now.
Well, it's been a long time since we've seen a win here in Pavilions, way back in the Cup against Worcester Wolves, and that was a blowout as well. Devontavious Payne moves the ball around. Skylar White for three, doesn't get it again. And the Raiders go the other way. Ron Boika dishes to Kostas Januska, who's full of driving, hooks the pass out towards Ubiaro. Ubiaro's got the quick feet to recover. Boika drives the lane, lovely dish. Issa Brandon with the finish. What a pass by Ron Boika. Solid play. 111 now for the Raiders. Big rebound, Will Neighbour. The Raiders again on the offense.
No sign of them slowing down here, is there?
No, not at all. They keep driving, they keep doing the things they're meant to do. Will Neighbour, lovely pass, the back cut again by Ubiaro. Doesn't gather it in. Pass a little low. Timeout called by coach Paul James, and the Raiders bench is on its feet.
Is this a statement from the Raiders?
Well, if it is, the rest of the league better watch out. 111-76 from a Surrey Scorchers team. If we look at the table that currently sit in 6th position, they've won 4 from 5 games. They're not, it's not a team that gets blown out week after week.
No, not at all.
It's a team that looks fairly comfortable in playoff position.
Yeah, we've seen certainly all of through the cup competition, the Southern Conference teams, if you like, we've seen them all visit here, and we've been slowly starting to make our way through some of the Northern Conference teams now.
Yeah.
I've not seen a single team put in a performance like this on this floor.
No.
Nobody's visited and played to this standard so far.
Definitely been one for the ages here from Plymouth Raiders, and the Raiders fans are lapping it up, and rightly so.
And I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this may well be, with the exception of, in fact, no, I'm going to go out on a limb because there are elements of the Glasgow game which PJ would like to forget. This is probably the Raiders' first 4-quarter performance of the season.
Well, the Surrey Scorchers, in terms of timeline, they've a game tomorrow. As Lavelle Cook puts up the shot, finishes short, but Skylar White gets the rebound, a trip. As Devontavious Payne goes to the floor on Josh Palmer. Looking at the fixtures for tomorrow, it's a tough weekend for Surrey Scorchers. They've got the Leicester Riders back in Surrey, so they've got to travel all the way back to Surrey tonight and play the Leicester Riders, one of the top teams who are currently on 2 or 3 game unbeaten run, including beating the reigning league champions, the London Lions, in fairly convincing fashion. It's a tough weekend for for the Scorchers.
Yeah, the riders started a little bit slower than usual this season. They certainly seem to be kicking into gear now.
Do you think there's maybe an element that the Scorchers already had one eye on tomorrow's game?
Possibly, yeah, possibly. And is there an element that they thought they may be able to come here and pick up an easy win?
Well, the Raiders on offence, as we're into the last 2 minutes of the game now. Language Barker is on the floor for the Raiders. Kiki chucks up a three. Doesn't go. Big rebound by Hawthorne. He can get some height on his jump. Devontavious Payne. Uviaro guarding him.
Really good to see at the moment. There's four of the Raiders university players on the floor.
Lovely one-hand
kind
finish.
of guided there by Rashad Hassan.
Man, Denzel Ubiaro's got a bit of a lead role there now as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, this is the future.
Lovely finish by Devontavious Payne on that last play, one-handed in the lane. And here's Josh Palmer. Himself likes a three-pointer. Olarikiki double team comes, kicks it out to Palmer. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Langridge is blocked. Comes in strong for his own rebound, and only a second on the clock for Palmer to get the three up. 41.1 seconds left. 111 points to the Raiders, 80 to the Surrey Scorchers. This one is all but over, but the formalities that finish. Devontavious Payne brings the ball down the floor. Hawthorne kicks it out to Kainu. Jacks up the three, doesn't go. Big rebound by Hassan. And Akiki steps on the line, and it'll be a sideline ball. So that's the only game. This is the only game for the Raiders this weekend versus the Surrey Scorchers. Back in action, of course, against the Wolves, February the 14th.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
They're away to the Wolves and followed up with the home visit of the Leicester Riders next Sunday.
Kicked cross court by Ubiaro. Three is up, no good. 17 seconds to go. Payne will run the floor and lay that one up and in.
I think we may well see the Raiders dribble this out now.
12 seconds on the shot clock. It's got to get over the timeline, and then that'll be it. Standing ovation for the Plymouth Raiders. They win this one outright, 111 to 82. Big game. What's won it tonight for the Raiders, do you think?
As Raiders kind of spectators we were used to seeing from him last year, and perhaps what we've seen from him in a Surrey kit this year. I've thoroughly enjoyed this game, and hopefully there's plenty more of this to come.
Indeed, that's it from us at Plymouth Pavilions. Hope you enjoyed the game. We'll catch you again soon. Until then, take it easy, and we'll speak to you again.
you know, playing 13, but I'll look at you. They are probably nearly 10 so I don't want it 9. Safe to go with one box, but you come far away. Thank you for our course, have a good journey home. And we will see you here